Yvonne Michele. This is your girl, Yvonne Michele, here live and direct on Loop Urban Radio. How are we doing today? I hope that you are doing well on the first Monday of September. My goodness, where has the whole year gone? We are coming down to the end of the year. I've even seen people posting about Christmas. Really? People are posting about Christmas already, and we have not even come out of the summer that well. But we are here live and direct on the www. For those of you who are tuning in on Facebook, if you just press that blue button for me over there, thank you very much. Thank you. Those of you who are tuning in on Instagram, and those of you who are on YouTube, good evening. Welcome. All streams, we are going fully live and direct, 4 different ways. And if you know anything about Yvonne Michele, she just likes to push the boundaries. So we are going live in 4 different ways. So if you are watching me live and you see me on looking at different cameras, don't feel no way. I am talking to you. And those of you who are on the www, I want to welcome you and thank you for joining us each and every week. This week is the start of sickle cell awareness. So today we have some powerhouses in the studio. We do. I'm super excited of the women that I have here today. Now, one of my guests is not able to make it today. Her mum's not well, and so she's not been able to make it. She would have flown in from Scotland, and that was Christina from DMD talk show, which is on Ben TV, but she will be here in a few weeks' time. So for those of you who are on our Facebook, good evening. Those of you on Instagram, good evening. And those of you who are on our YouTube as well as www, good evening to you. So like I say, we're going fully in. And I've got some really, really amazing guests today. Now, sickle cell is something that affects mainly, I would say, those in the Black community, be African, Caribbean, English-born, those of us who are called Black people. It mainly affects us. And so there may be somebody within your family who has the ailment of sickle cell. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be raising awareness as well. We're also going to be talking about how we help each other as a community. So you might hear some things going on in the studio. We're just going to get ready so that those who are watching us can see our guests as well. So I will be turning the camera, for those of you who are on Facebook and Instagram, I will be turning the camera around so that you guys can see. And I'll just lift this up because it looks like I've got like a... Can you hear me okay in the studio? Okay, wonderful. So as I was saying before, we are talking about sickle cell awareness. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in one of our guests each at a time, and then we're all going to collaborate and speak together. Then we're going to have questions and answers. If you do have any questions about sickle cell, please do put it on the thread. For those of you who are on the www, you can contact us on the number of 07908 974 543. That's 07908 974 543. You can contact us there, or you can go into the chat room and you can put all your questions in the chat room as well. So we've got people here, we've got a lovely team here working with me to make this run smoothly today. All right. So, so my first guest I'm going to introduce to you as is also a radio host. She's also a radio host. She's an international speaker, author of 5 Year Dreams, The Power of Never Giving Up. Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's correct.
She's a radio presenter and sickle cell empowerment coach. Her name is Charmaine Smith. Charmaine has a passion for uplifting young people, the next generation of leaders, and coaching those who want to improve and live a healthier lifestyle. Charmaine has been trained and coached by motivational speaker Des Brown since 2007. She's a noted public speaker, health advocate, youth impact coach, and best-selling author of Fight for Your Dreams, The Power of Never Giving Up with Des Brown. Her audiences are encouraged and empowered to fight for their dreams despite life's challenges. Charmaine will empower you to deliver your story with power and conviction and inspire the still small voice within you to say, if they can do it, I can do it. She is the host of her own talk show of music and motivation. Charmaine, aka Empress Divine, is a distinguished communicator and coach in training your mind and body to achieve your dreams. Charmaine's heartfelt message of energy motivates audiences to create a larger vision for their lives and fight for their dreams. Charmaine has found tremendous success coaching her clients into their greatness and taking back control of their lives. Now, you've got all of that. Let me introduce Charmaine to you. So Charmaine, and if we can just get that camera to turn so that those of you who are at home and are watching can also see who we have in the studio. There you go. Whoa. Okay. Right. So if we turn that, sit, lovely. Wonderful. Too much. That's it. There we go. A little bit more. So if you come over a little bit more, Charmaine, that's it. We can get you in. And we have Peace here as well. So Peace is going to be talking to us a little bit later. We don't want to exclude her. She is here with us as well. So we are all here together, a powerhouse of women in the studio. Sorry, guys. Those of you are there. So Charmaine, welcome.
Thank you, Yvonne. It's nice to be back home. It's been a while.
Okay. Because I haven't seen you for a while, but you look absolutely amazing.
Thank you very much. Likewise, ladies and gentlemen.
We can't forget the guys in the studio. So Charmaine, right, what we're going to talk about, we are here to talk about sickle cell. However, we are also here to talk about you and what you do and how you inspire others who are struggling with sickle or not even. So we're here to have quite an open conversation about what you do and promote you as well. Promote what you do because, you know, Charmaine is a best-selling author. So we are here to promote that book as well, you know. So you know, we've heard the bio. Yeah. But Charmaine, tell us a bit about yourself. Tell us where you started from, because I always like to get the backstory.
Okay, so my journey has been, I wanted to study law. So I've studied law. I've got my postgraduate diploma in legal practice. I've got my law degree. Okay. But in the last year of my law degree, I fell pregnant with my eldest daughter, who's now 18.
Okay.
I found out at the time that I had sickle cell trait. Okay. But I'd already known that her dad had sickle cell trait.
Right.
So there was a 1 in 4 chance that I would have a child born with sickle cell. 1 in 4 chance that the child would have normal hemoglobin, AA, and 2 in 4 chance that, like myself, the child would have sickle cell trait. So in October 2000, I had my child. And 3 months later, they do a blood test. So I found out when she was 3 months old that she had full-blown sickle cell.
Okay.
So it was heart-rending. I do know that sickle cell trait was in the family, but no one in the family had full-blown sickle cell. So I knew my grandmother had sickle cell trait. Didn't know my mother had trait. And I would say out of ignorance, sort of, you know, it's not going to be me, you know, that sort of thing. And you found friends at school that had sickle cell. So yeah, I was 20 at the time when I found out she had sickle cell trait. But it didn't throw me because my family is quite forward thinking. So they don't, you know, they always say to us, you know, the sick are closest to the grave. So don't worry about it. Just do what you can to make a better life for your child. So my mum was about 18 and she has a lot of fetal hemoglobin, they say, in her blood. So even though she has a crisis, she doesn't have a severe crisis as some sicklers. So she's HBSS, which is supposed to be the most severe form of sickle cell. But I know people even in my motivational team and my Forever Living Products team that have HBSC, which is supposed to be a minor form of sickle cell, and their sickle cell impacts them more. So what I would say is that even when you find out you have sickle cell trait or you've got full-blown sickle cell, it's not something to worry about. I call them sickle cell warriors. Because at the end of the day, they're fighting pain ad hoc. And it doesn't stop my daughter from living her dreams or pursuing her dreams. Hence why in my book, Fight for Your Dreams, The Power of Never Giving Up, I do share my story. Yeah, I do share my story about raising a child with sickle cell and also how it's changed my life. The only thing I would say is, as a parent or a carer, it sometimes will affect you in that your normal daily activities can get affected. So sometimes things like going out to work.
Yeah.
I'm doing radio. Yeah, going out to work. People, school, college, nursery, sometimes the lack of understanding. So my power and my purpose is to raise more awareness about the illness. And it's heartfelt from my heart because I know what my daughter goes through. I know what families go through, how it affects the other children, because sometimes the younger children don't understand, mummy's gone, sister's in hospital, what's happening. So my purpose and my conviction is to tell my story to help inspire and encourage others that you can make it through. I'm also part of Facebook, so I'm on some of the sickle cell mummies Facebook groups. So I tend to go on there occasionally at night when I'm going to my bed and just give them encouragement. Yeah. Even there was a sickler in America somewhere. I can't remember where, but the mum was quite frantic about the child being in intensive care. So I was sending my prayers of encouragement and told her to call me. And she actually thanked me about 2 years ago. She was like, oh, thank you to the angel that was sending her prayers. And so for me, because I know what people experience, I can speak from a carer's point of view. But when it comes to sickle cell itself, having a patient or seeing somebody that you know that's curled up in a ball, you know, it's in severe pain, 9 out of 10, diamorphine, codeine phosphate, short of breath. But all of these things led me to a gentleman called Dada Jones. Right. He's a holistic healer and he has sickle cell himself. And Peace, we did a sickle cell event in Tottenham 3 years ago. And we invite Peace along to speak and Cheryl Phoenix as well. Cheryl Phoenix is part of Black Child Agenda. Her partner actually passed with sickle cell. And we just did awareness and raised some funds. So what I would say to people is just encourage you to just seek support. And sometimes, like in our community, we don't really talk about these things. So this is a good thing that you're doing here. We don't really talk about it. So a lot of stigma. Yeah. People misunderstanding sometimes culturally as well. They think it's a curse, but far from it. One thing that my daughter's teacher said to her, you have a special body. So you have to look after that special body. Yeah. And I thought that was really sweet because at the time she was struggling with what she was going through. And then when she came back from carnival, we were sitting on the bed and she goes, Mum, there's this girl on Instagram. And she just put up her story about sickle cell. And I just knew when I read what she wrote that she had sickle cell. Right. Just from her experience and what she was going through. Because with mental health as well, it can affect you that way as well. It will affect it when you're ill. I know any illness can affect your mental health. Do you know what? Because you've mentioned Peace, I'm going to bring Peace in. Yes. And I think this conversation will be a little bit different from the conversations that we normally have. Because normally I'd introduce one guest, have talk, and then I'd introduce another talk. And then at the end, we'd kind of like just do like question and answer. But I think because of what it is, and the experiences that you've both had, I think it would be more beneficial to just have the conversation. Yeah. So I'm going to introduce Peace. Peace is on your camera. You can see her. Those of you who are on the www. You can't see, but if you want to see, you can go on Facebook. You can go on Instagram, or you can go on YouTube. Facebook link should be up. Yeah, the Facebook link is up. YouTube is Yvonne Michele Inspires, and I believe the Instagram is probably Yvonne Michele.
and not the radio, but never mind. Because I do have a page specifically for the radio, and sometimes
press the other
one by accident. So sorry, so sorry for those of you. So if you do want to get in touch, do share with your friends and family and let them know, especially if you know somebody who suffers with sickle cell. This today's conversation is for everyone, because I do believe that sickle cell has an impact on most of our lives somewhere down the line. I have sickle cell in my family, not directly my children, but my nephews have, a couple of my nephews have sickle cell. We carry thalassemia. I carry thalassemia.
So it's similar to sickle cell, and you have to.
Yeah. So when I was pregnant with my daughter, my son and my daughter, should I say, I was tested. Dad was tested, and then we had the test done on baby while baby was still. I had amnio with my son, and then I had a CVS with my daughter. So I knew very early on with my daughter whether or not, and neither one of them have the trait or full-blown sickle cell. So but for my sister's story's completely different. So 2 out of the 3 boys that she has sickle cell, and her daughter has the sickle cell trait.
Okay.
So there's only one who hasn't been affected.
Yeah.
Really.
Mine's the opposite. One's affected, and the other 2 have sickle cell trait, like myself.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when I had my son 3.5 years later, I did the amniocentesis because I wanted to be prepared.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then the 3rd child, then I was thinking, oh gosh, what should I do? But one of my team members, Sheridine, Sheridine said to me, well, if my mum thought like you, I wouldn't be here. So, sometimes the doctors encourage you to do other things.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, like 3 children, partner's not very supportive. So when she made that statement, I thought, you know what? That one, I didn't even get tested anything until she was born.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And I think sometimes, I don't know what your experiences were when you were having children, but I know that when, after, because my middle son, he passed away. And when he passed away, there was a pocket of time where they were trying to say, well, could it have been sickle cell? Could it have been?
Yeah.
But there was nothing. And I said, well, hold on a minute, because we have the amniocentesis results here.
Yes.
Yes. And he was past 6 weeks, so he'd had blood tests already. Yes. So we need to rule this out here. But I do know that when I was pregnant with my daughter, because of all of that had happened, they were like, well, do you really want to go through with it? You have other options and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no. We're doing the test so I know.
Yes.
I just want to know what I'm up against. Yeah. And that's it. I'm having this baby.
Yes.
Because you can't be telling me, after I've lost one, you can't be telling me
to then go to do other things.
That don't make no sense to me. But all I want to know is, what does she have it? Well, I didn't know if it was boy or girl then. Does this baby have sickle cell or not? Or is it the trait? I just want to know so I can prepare myself throughout my pregnancy and know what I've got to do. And I've got to get all of my knowledge intact so I know exactly what I'm doing when this baby comes.
Yeah.
For me it was, she has no trait. She has no sickle cell, and she's now nearly 21. She'll be 21. So she's a big old woman now. So, I'm grateful for the experience, but I know back then they didn't have that much knowledge.
Yeah. And they didn't test, because I live on the outskirts of London and no knowledge of sickle cell. My mom, look, I got tested when I was 21, 20 going on 21. I didn't know I had sickle cell. They didn't do the test then. Pilot study happened in 2006, and I took part in the pilot study in central London after the 7/7 bombings.
Right.
And that's when they were encouraging people to get tested before finding out if you're part. A little too late, but you know what I mean? But at least it's happening. So now I know they're rolling it out a lot and promoting people to get tested. But even so, you don't always, because I've got a friend, she has sickle cell trait. I said to her when I had her goddaughter, which has sickle cell, go and test your partner. She had a child 14, and both her and her partner have sickle cell trait.
Wow.
The child didn't come with full-blown sickle cell, just sickle cell trait as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, but they say there's things that you can do to alter. I have members in my Forever Living team that has got sickle cell, and they say my mum used to eat a lot of yam when she was pregnant, but they do say African yam, cassava, lots of grains, good to manage it. And when my daughter was a baby, she didn't get any processed food.
Right.
I was boiling up yam, I was boiling up sweet potato, cassava. Indirectly, I was giving her broccoli, cauliflower. Broccoli's got folic acid, and they give you folic acid supplements to take. So it's about building up their immune system. And even with Peace did an event which we attended, and I was one of her speakers.
That was back in 2013 or 12. It's quite a while that we've known since then. I mean,
so before we go there, tell us about you first, because I'm there chatting. We forgot about to find out who is Peace.
It's such an interesting and intriguing conversation, so you just get overwhelmed. But my name is Peace Adetoro. I'm the author of A World Without Sickle Cell, and this book came about due to me starting to create sickle cell awareness back in 2012, and my experience of sickle cell was back when I think I was a teen. Obviously, my parents, they divorced, and my dad remarried, and my stepmother also had the trait. So she had 2 children at a very young age that died. It was sickle cell, but at the time we was quite ignorant to what the disease was, and I think this is going over about 30 years ago. We're talking about now, and so I remember back in 2012. I was talking to my dad. Well, I met a friend of mine. We went for a reunion, and we went to her house, and she was kind of housebound, and I kind of didn't really want to ask what was wrong with her, because she looked really sick, but I just didn't feel comfortable asking the question. So after we had finished the reunion, I called a friend, and after, what's wrong with, her name was Bumi, and she thought, she had sickle cell, and I thought, sickle cell? I've never seen anyone that looked like that had sickle cell. I mean, I know I've seen people with sickle cell, but they've either died at a very young age, but I've never seen anyone that, was in a wheelchair, housebound, they could just about walk. But it was quite amazing. So I started to read up on sickle cell, went on YouTube to see if there was anything like that, and I couldn't actually see anything that was worse than that. When I started to read that it affects the internal organs, and that's probably what was happening to her. And then I thought, oh my God, this is really serious. And then I in my research, I met a doctor called Dr. Ken, who was doing his masters in Holland, and I invited him over to the UK just to give us some more knowledge. I've got the interviews with him on YouTube, on my YouTube page as well, and he sort of gave me the breakdown of how sickle cell, can affect lives, and it was really devastating. For me, it's something that's been, the traits has been in my family. I had 2 half sisters that died of sickle cell, but didn't really, connect or have because I was so young at the time, so I didn't really know what it was. And so it's only after that I started creating. We met Charmaine in 2012. I did a hair show, natural hair show, which I had the speakers, Cheryl, Charmaine, and a few people come and talk about sickle cell. And then from there it just exploded, and I just know a lot of people are very sick and they're unable to create awareness. So what I used to do was go out and do all the jumping out of the planes, swimming with sharks.
To raise money.
It wasn't even, to me, it wasn't even about raising the money. It was creating that awareness. Because when you said, when I say to people, I'm going to jump out of a plane, they'll think, jump out of a plane, why? And then they want to know why. Then I've got to explain why I'm doing it, and then they can, all the places that I've worked, every single one of them have had sickle cell, awareness drummed into them. So they all know about, and that's both black and white. They're all interested and intrigued. Okay. And sometimes it gets very frustrated when you feel that a lot of black people don't get involved, or they just feel it doesn't affect them directly. So they have other issues, other things that they want to talk about. If it's maybe it could be cancer or other diseases, which is fair enough. But I just feel, to me, I feel like,
we're going to come back after the break. Sorry. Sorry, we're going to come back after the break. Are we on break?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Every week I'm like, I'm making them.
Yeah.
All right.
With some cards.
So, guys, those of you who are listening, we are at a commercial break at the moment. Those of you who are on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, we are on a commercial break at the moment. So we will be back. So please hold that, what you were saying. I need to prop this up a bit. Yeah, I move this over. We could get a ball.
Ladies, look up the tube. On like that, or 3 minutes. It means, yeah.
Okay. So if I move my chair over here, I think it will be better.
I mean, you can come in.
I can come. If you stay where you were, and I come over. That's probably well.
Yeah, that's. And I just tip this over, guys. Oh, no,
you need to straighten it or tilt it.
Because it won't go.
Yeah.
There we go. We've done it. Yay. So you get it all on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. You get it all. You know, you get all the juice. Yeah, you get it all of the secret sauce. It's all here today.
Yeah, a minute and a half. So
a minute and a half.
Yeah, I'll do like a little Taylor music that big. Nice
Play it in and then we'll do that.
That's 30 seconds in.
And then you can carry on with what you were saying.
What was I saying? I can't even remember. Where was I?
Jumping out.
Planes,
Okay,
doing your hair pageant.
Yeah.
And also doing tabletops.
I think you were talking about your brother Bumi was saying something.
Yeah, my friend Bumi, yeah. What tabletops?
I met you at the in South London first. You had a table. You bought a table. Charmaine from Charmaine Simpson. Child's Market.
Yes.
That's the first time I met you.
Oh, right, yeah.
She's doing tabletops. Now I was doing my aloe vera. He's just doing the tabletop.
Right.
The world without sickle cell. Just
promoting
awareness.
Yeah.
Okay.
She had a book. Your badges and your
badges and leaflets and stuff like that. Yeah.
And how do you pronounce your surname?
Additora. Just try and think Italian. Everybody thinks
Additora.
Of the bull. Toro.
Because it's Charmaine. I'm like, oh, that's something. Yeah.
Simit.
Yeah. Charmaine, Simit. I'm like, I forget. If you watch my first, I'm like, I'm not even going to try and pronounce your name.
No, I'm terrible with pronunciation.
I'm like, I've got this one watching. Hi, guys. Okay, here we go. And welcome back to Conversations with Yvonne Michele. We are here. I am here with Charmaine Simit.
Or Smythe.
Smith. And Peace Additora. There you go. Hello. And we've been talking about it's Sickle Cell Awareness Month, and we wanted to kick off the month to raise awareness for those who are suffering with sickle cell and those who are carers. And we wanted to raise more awareness throughout, not just within our community, but everywhere. Because I think it's something that everybody needs to know about, to have some understanding of how people are living their lives and how difficult it can be. So Charmaine kicked off. Now we're talking to Peace, and Peace was telling us about jumping out of a plane.
And swimming with sharks.
Well,
sorry.
So all my gimmicks to get people's attention. I mean, then I was telling them I was going to parachute out of the plane. I mean, I was bricking it, but I just thought it's something that I had to do. And I had a lot of people coming on my page. I have a page called A World About Sickle Cell as well. And people was like, oh, she's jumping out of the plane. I even had one Nigerian guy that had sent a message on my page to say, oh, well, there's so many people in Nigeria, so one less person alive will decrease the population. And I just thought to myself, this is a country that have got the biggest population of people with sickle cell, and this is the ignorance that people would come on Facebook and comment. Well, no, he wasn't. That was just his response to what I mean. After I did the event, I must admit they were all, because he had a lot of people that was liking his comment, thinking that he had said something really fantastic. But I mean, after I had actually done the jump and I went back and put the video on that, it was in one of the Nigerian groups, and then they thought of the conversation sort of turned different. Everybody was all praising, thinking, "Oh my God, that you've done a wonderful thing for people with sickle cell and this and that." Well, especially with someone like me, that it doesn't affect me in any way. No disrespect. I mean, my children don't have sickle cell. We don't have the trait directly, but like I said, my parents have the trait. At the time, I only thought it was my dad and my stepmother. So I remember one time when I'd finished having my conversation with this doctor about sickle cell, and I was like, so if people know that they've got the trait, why would they go into a relationship? So I came home that day and had it out with my dad, and I was giving it large, and how you're a mechanical engineer, your wife was a nurse, that you should know better. Why would you have a child with someone that had the trait? And I was, going on, and he didn't say a word until I'd finished spewing my nonsense. And then he turned around and said, if that's the way I feel, I wouldn't be sitting here today. And I thought, what the hell are you talking about? And then he said that my mother also had the trait. I mean, I was brought up by my dad, so I more or less didn't really have a relationship with my mother. So I had no idea that my mother also had the trait. But I got two siblings, my brother and my sister, and none of us had the trait, and none of us had sickle cell. So that kind of shot me in my tracks, knowing that, I had to turn my whole way of thinking when it comes to, relationships and people having the traits. And it's not, for me, it turned into just putting the awareness out there and not laying blame on people, because that's how it even when we're talking about ignorance in Nigeria, you've got a lot of people that lie about their status. They wouldn't tell you that they've got the traits. So just because they want to get married and then pray that the child doesn't have sickle cell, rather than being honest with each other. So it's just a matter of trying to change the whole stigma of people with traits or people with sickle cell. It's just any child with sickle cell is just another special child, as far as I'm concerned. They have their own fights and things that they have to go with. And for me, it's all about bringing that awareness and fighting, because I love challenges. As people say to me, what motivates me? And it's always when I can go out there and motivate people. To me, I feel sickle cell is part of like a race thing, because they feel like it does mainly affects Black people. They feel like they don't need to do anything about it. So that's what motivates me even more to put it out there. I remember there was a post that I did back in 2012, and it was about a white family who she had three children who had sickle cell. And I thought, how could that happen? So I researched it, and I took the story, and then I went to look for a picture on Google to see whether there was a picture of the family. So I just saw one picture that came up, so I put it with my post. Because every time you write a post, the picture always seems to get the attention. Yeah. So, God, that post came up with like 20,000 people come in, and I had comments. I had so much abuse on that post, because that picture that I put up had nothing to do with the actual story, and I didn't know at the time. So the actual family because it went everywhere. The family was in Florida. So when she found out about my post, she came onto my page and she was really angry. She was spitting feathers, and I said to her, look, all I tried to do was create awareness to let people know that this is just not a Black people's disease. It also can affect white people. Right. I mean, it's people from the Mediterranean and Italian. Yes, this lady had an Italian background, and that's why her kids had sickle cell. I mean, we're friends now. We're good friends. So she causes trouble and then becomes friends. She gave me the rights. Yeah, she gave me the rights to her story. I remember having to wrote that story for the Bedford University and their magazine. So she gave me the rights to write that story up in their magazine. So it brought the awareness, and people, especially in Africa, that thought, oh, white people get sickle cell, and it brought a lot of people onto my page for that particular story. So that was something that really...
Well, that is a good thing, really.
Yeah, even if I'd done maybe the real story, it probably wouldn't have really brought much attention. But because I had that picture, that little controversy, it caused a lot of issues. So a lot of people, I said, these were coming all the way from America. People was like saying, "Why don't you just get your facts right before you?" It was just
because it's the same with beta thalassemia. Normally, you're associated with the Asians.
Yeah,
I know that my nephew that passed away, they found out after thalassemia. Yeah, and that test had never been done. So he was asthmatic, but he had also had beta thalassemia. Oh, wow. And when my daughter was in hospital 2017, for 13 days with a crisis, 9 out of 10 on diamorphine, it was horrible. Wow. My brother came and he actually opened up and told us at that time they gave him a blood transfusion.
Wow.
So we don't know if he was born with it or if it was via
wow. Because I carry a card.
Oh, I've got a card too.
Yeah.
But it's in my passport. I don't carry me daily.
Yeah, somewhere.
Because no one really asks, have you got sickle cell? Unless you go to the doctors.
Yeah.
But also, with trait, what I noticed is when I was younger, I used to get really out of breath. I used to be very sporty, doing a lot of sports. After I finished, and that's one of the things of sickle cell trait. You can get out of breath and you still need to drink a lot of water. So now I'm learning through my children what it is to have trait, because my son and myself, we have trait with symptoms. So we start to ache. Or I said my body's aching, or I don't feel good, and I'm sometimes like, just go to school. And then the school rings me to come and collect him. Or like now, before I left that, he's rubbing up his legs with heat lotion. So change of weather. And my daughter was like, yesterday came in, she's like, oh, I hate the summer. I said, you need to stop that. She said she prefers spring, early going into winter, because she says that she doesn't feel as tired. So one of the things of sickle cell is you feel tired, lethargic. And in with that, because she's studying at college now, it's explaining to the college over and over again what this is, why her attendance may drop.
Right.
And for her, it affects them more in winter because they're susceptible to illness. Traveling on public transport, coughs, colds can be detrimental.
Do you find that the schools are understanding of the issues around sickle cell?
No.
I was trying to
just be brutally honest,
No, not until you continuously drum it into them. And when I mean, I've had to write letters, I've had to write emails, I've even had to move my daughter from her first high school because of the ignorance in that school. And the head teacher, I spoke with her about my daughter wearing an outside coat in winter. She can't be traveling from room to room, building to building with no coat. Had the need to move her on the Friday. By the Monday, she's asking her why she's got her coat on in school. That was the last drop for me. I just said, I'm not risking losing my child because of your ignorance. And I just moved schools. Then the other school that she went to, Ofsted rating wasn't as good, but the pastoral support was better. And she fared better. College, because college has got so many different people studying so many good things, it's hard for them to just pinpoint one child and say, she's got. So I've had to go in meetings. I've got a folder full of sickle cell from when she was born. What information would you want? And I just started shelling it out and giving them leaflets to read about. Still, up until she left in June, still the same thing. So I've had to threaten them with disability discrimination. Because I said to them, you would not be ringing a cancer patient and saying, are you coming in today? You wouldn't be ringing somebody, because sickle cell is something that doesn't show up. So it's one of those it can hit at any time. So she can't predict that when she's going to be well and when she's going to be sick. If she's sick, she's sick. And as far as I'm concerned, if you're sick, have sickle cell and you're sick, take the time to rest and recuperate. Find something that's going to work for you, even like job-wise. She wanted to look for jobs and go and work for a particular company and finish late at night on her feet all day. I'm saying, well, how are you going to fare when you go to college the next day? It's going to impact you. When you're going out now, it takes you 3 days to recuperate.
So you're basically saying is that people who do have sickle cell can work, but they have to find a way of navigating their lifestyle around.
Yes,
the
I would say find something that works for you. So you know your body. So what can you do that is going to fit around that, and have an understanding manager? I think the first point of call is having a meeting with the manager, but sometimes they won't want to do that because it could be a risk of me not getting the job, discrimination. So with my daughter, she tends not to mention it, and then she asks me, why did you go and mention it? But I said, they have to know, because if anything happens, they have to know what to do.
They have to know.
And it's not you because sometimes she feels like she's making excuses. I said, you're not making excuses. They have to know so that it reflects. I was also an education welfare officer. I had a number of clients that had sickle cell. One mother that had sickle cell, very frail, affected her child's attendance because she can't bring the child into school. Another child, he was at primary school. The school was wanted to bring the mum to court. And the child's wheelchair bound. So I'm saying, well, how have you managed a plan? I'll put a plan in place for that child to manage them when they're sick.
They are supposed to put.
But these are the things that sometimes go amiss.
So do you support families and mothers or fathers who have children with sickle cell?
I do. I advocate on behalf of them for free because sometimes it's challenging working and having that in place. But I advocate on behalf of young people in general. Even because sickle cell is one thing. Recently, a young person came to me, mental health issues, depression, can't access a new course. So it's advocating on their behalf to make people more understanding and more aware, because sometimes when you're going through it, it's hard to see past, my child's in hospital, she's on diamorphine, she's having fluids. The last thing you want to think about is contacting the school or contacting the college or contacting work.
So if we're to put out here, for those who are listening, watching, those of you who are on the www, those of you who are on our live streams, if you are listening, and I know that I have a lot of silent listeners, so I see people say, oh, this is your show. And I'm like, but you never said nothing. No, this is your show for me. I'm like, okay. So I know that we have some silent listeners out there. So if you are struggling with this issue, if you have a child who has sickle cell or thalassemia, because it's very, very similar, and you are struggling and you need an advocate to step in, we have two wonderful ladies here, actually three, because I work with young people all the time, and I work with young people, but here who are willing to help you, because I think that one of the most frustrating things, I think, as a parent, especially, is when you have a child that's ill and the school is on your case. And then or the organisation that's providing the education, because I think they're misunderstood, and because I work, because of the work that I do, I see it, and I've had dealings with a mother. I just finished a placement, and it's conflict, it's mental health, and we had this celebration, and someone was there when she came up. I was like, all right, how you do? It's on my Facebook, I know. Like, what are you doing here? She's like, oh, this is my son. And I'm like, no way. So I've been working with her son over a period of time, not realising, and then she started to say, but I had already had the backstory from the organisation, what the mother's, right? So I'm like, okay. But now I understand. Because especially with our own people, sometimes, because it's a constant battle, sometimes it does get your back up and you feel that you have to defend your brood, your children. You've got to defend because no one else is defending.
That's why we call them warriors.
So what I'm saying is, if you are in that position and you need some support, do contact, you can contact LUR actually, because Charmaine is already on LUR's DJ.
Yeah, and press the bind Fridays. What in the time now? It's 6 or 8.
Yeah.
Or you can connect with me on my Facebook fan page, Charmaine Smith Fight for Your Dreams. I do put things about sickle cell, empowerment. I am thinking of doing a sickle cell awareness event as well, either the end of this month or if not in October. But I'm going to open it broader this time, not just sickle cell awareness, because just do it as a health event. Because sometimes people do not want to be stigmatized. They don't want to bring attention to themselves that they have sickle cell. So just come along. What I would say is just health events in general. Or health awareness events, go to them and find out, because there's different things that you can, and even some of our Pempanzi in Brixton is a very good one. They can tell you, inform you about different herbs and roots that you can take alongside your medication, but also check with your doctor that you can take these things and supplements, but how to supplement your health and how to build up your immune system. Because one of the things with sickle, even cancer, many of our illnesses or disease of the body, your immune system is breaking down. I did an event yesterday and I had a lady sitting with me and I could just see that she just wanted to talk. And she was on, she had oxygen with her. And she just had a bout of pneumonia. And she said, I'm on this and then this is wrong with me. And I just sat there for like 15 minutes talking to her. And that's sometimes helps, what's needed.
Because people want to be heard. They want to have a voice. It's so important, and it's part of our healing. This is one of the things that, I advocate, and is getting your story out, speaking, getting your voice heard, because your voice and expression is part of our healing. Because if it's in and it's just toxic, it's just in your body. But once you start to let it out and start to release, then you do feel better. And it's, that old saying, a problem shared, problem halved. It's getting it out of your mind, getting it out of your body. And that's why sometimes we get a lot of mental health problems as well, because we're just keeping it, because we're culturally, we've got to be strong, and we've got to keep it to ourselves. Don't complain.
I didn't tell anyone. I feel like, I didn't tell anyone until she was about 5, 6. Okay. She had her first crisis when she was 3, when myself and her dad broke up. Up till then, she didn't have any. So stress. Transitions from primary to secondary, also losing her cousin, which was the same age, 5, 6 months apart. That brought a toll on her, and we attended a funeral and she had a really bad crisis. So we went back, I remember we spent, 2012, August back holiday, we were in hospital. So I said, don't worry, I'll bring carnival to you. She's like, Mom. But that time, because they were taking so much blood from her, she has this thing with doctors now that she don't like them coming near her. Anytime to take blood, no, I thought you promised they weren't going to take anymore. That's what she was telling me. So, and then having the children at home, wondering, why is Mom not there? Is sister okay? But my youngest daughter, funny enough, when the oldest is sick, she'll come and tell me, or she'll cleave to her, or I don't want to leave her. That was Carnival Sunday. This gone, she had a crisis, a sickle cell pain crisis. So, episode.
So what's the difference?
So the sickle cell episode is when you have a pain episode. Sickle cell crisis is when you need to go to the hospital, the doctor.
Right.
So we do it on a scale of 1 to 10. So 5, it was 5 out of 10, so it's average. We can manage the pain at home. She's got her penicillin, she's got her folic acid. She also takes an iron supplement at the moment as well. So we manage it at home. I also do essential oils, so lavender to calm her, put in the dehumidifier for her room. Rub her up with heat lotion. This is one of her saving graces as well. You can sort of see it.
Just pop it there.
Yeah, heat lotion. She also drinks her aloes to cleanse out her system. And anyone, do your investigation. LRG and RG. Not saying not to take your supplement, your medicine, but to do your research and find out what works for you. Also check with your doctor. So these are some of the things that we use. And Carnival Monday, she went carnival and left us behind. But my fear was, all right then, is she well enough to go? But I can't pressure her, put that on her. So you have to make them make their own choices. And she's 18 now, so what can I say? And I stayed home on Bank Holiday Monday. I didn't go to Carnival because, you can't get any reception. Yeah. So I wanted to know when she leaves Carnival, she can contact me. I'm contactable. So if I need to go and pick her up, I can pick her up. But you have to give them the freedom to learn their body and have their independence and learn. Because I'm quite overpowering at times. And, it's my child. So I had to learn to take a step back and allow her to be.
Yeah. Because she's 18 now.
She's 18.
She's 18. So you do have to
Yeah,
You did.
but it's still like, even when we went to the hospital and they're telling me about, oh, she can speak for herself. At the time she was 17, so I had to tell them that my fitness still until she turned 18.
Right.
I can still speak on her behalf. And another thing that's important for anyone that has health power of attorney, you can register it. It's a 20-page document, £82 to register. Don't let anyone sell you £400 odd for a lasting power of attorney. So that's basically, with the new data protection rules, no one can speak on your behalf. So if they decide to make a decision about your healthcare or your finances, it's down to the hospital, the doctors.
So it's something that you should really have.
Yeah. So you can Google it, lasting power of attorney. The document will come up, and you can print it off and fill it out.
Okay, tell us a little bit more about it, because I didn't know about this. It's something new.
Yeah,
Did you know about this?
No.
Yeah. So tell us a bit more. Because so for instance, if my child had sickle cell, for instance, and they're 19. And they have a crisis, and the hospital say, right, this is the best course of action. My child can't talk or is, unable to because of the pain, whatever. And I'm there as the mother, and I'm saying, no, what happens?
You have little voice. The last decision is with the doctor or the hospital, because remember data protection rules.
Yeah, you can.
GDPR.
Because it's all changed.
It's changed. You can, only the person that's there can speak on their behalf. Even though they are compromised, they haven't given you authority to make those decisions. Wow. So when you get the lasting power of attorney for health and well-being or welfare, that gives you the right to speak on me to speak on my daughter's behalf. So that's one of the things that I'm looking into now, registering and getting her to sign it while she's in the correct state of mind. Because I realized when she was 17, I could still speak on her behalf because they wanted to give her a blood transfusion, and I said no. Right. This is a crisis that she's had. It hasn't been as bad as the one in 2012. So why do you want to give her a blood transfusion? So they came to her early hours of the morning trying to persuade her, but they didn't realize that my daughter was sleeping during the day when I was there doing shift like the doctors and the nurses. And she was up at night. So she was WhatsApping me and telling me, Mum, the doctor came round at 4 o'clock, 4 this morning. Yeah. Was it the Liverpool? There's something, the Liverpool, I can't remember, Liverpool Pathway or something, where they decide early in the morning who lives or who dies. Yes. Wow, guys. You have to look into and research. I'll get the exact name. It's Liverpool something. I think it's Liverpool Pathway, where they decide who lives or dies. So I remember seeing the nurses come around and the doctor come around and say, bed number 4, how long they've been there? Bed number 3. Bed, not even they're not even by name. Yeah. So lasting power of attorney for everybody, really. Yeah. Because it's any of us. Anything could happen. I could, lose mental capacity, fall, hit my head. My family, my children have no say. Yeah. So it's something. Yeah. So lasting power of attorney, £82 registration. Don't let anyone charge you excessive prices like I've experienced recently. £82. Yeah. Listen, I think it's really important that we adhere to this, and I'll tell you why. Because last week Wednesday, I knocked myself out. Dear, how did you do that? Cream in my leg. It's weird. I was creaming my leg, right? I was getting ready to go. I sing, so I was getting ready to work, and I creamed my skin, everything, and I'm ready to leave. And I'm saying to my daughter, right, I'm ready to go. And I was like, I looked at my leg. Didn't really need cream. I'm like, let me just put some more cream on. The stigma. Dry foot. For real. Seriously, I'm not on dry foot, right? You know that. So I was in my daughter's room, so I wasn't in my own environment. It's her room. And I just put the cocoa butter on my hand, and I just went down to cream my leg, and her bedpost was there. And it hit me right here, just off centre of my face, right? And it did a little cut. And instantly, it's like a unicorn. Coco. But I was absolutely dazed. I was dazed, knocked out. Ended up going to A&E, and them looking over, making sure I was okay and everything. So dry foot and a unicorn. Yes, all at the same time. Imagine that. So I say that to say that, because when my daughter was trying to talk for me, they was like, well, can't mum talk herself? And I'm like, she can talk for me. Right, so you gave her the authority. Yeah, right there. But that is somebody that was willing to listen. Yeah, but that was only after the fact. If an ambulance was called and I was all like that, She wouldn't know.
She wouldn't have been able to talk for me.
No.
Yeah.
So it's for everybody.
So it is, and I'm just saying that, guys, that it's for everybody to know this is a useful piece of information. We will be back after the break. It's coming up because I can hear the music. And so that's my cue to let you know that we will be back after break with more talk on sickle cell awareness. We're going to find out a lot more about what it entails and what you can do to help yourself. Be back after the break.
I'm actually going to run and get the form. I've got them in the car.
Really?
The last
Yeah.
turning, so you can see.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
So part of the toilet that they write, there's no legal.
I think they've abolished the Liverpool pathway thing.
Have they abolished it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had a thing called the.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we can say we can we can mention that as well, that's been phased out and that is as well. So guys, thank you for staying with us. Thank you for staying locked in and tuned in.
Mention it now. The Liverpool pathway.
Yeah,
We've been informed that they've abolished that in 2015.
Yeah.
But still, that's been abolished, but the GDPR is
in full effect.
So you
you need that, and that I don't know why they brought that in. Actually, I know why they brought that in. Actually, I do know why.
Yes, for what's it, body parts.
Yes, that's exactly. That's why they brought that in. Because if they feel
everybody in at the moment, and it's for you to opt out. A lot of people are going to feel like,
what?
Did you not know that?
No, I've opted out of the blood. You know,
no. Now they've opted everybody in. You've got to opt yourself out, and a lot because they know that a lot of people wouldn't want to.
So donor, your donor.
Yeah.
Oh, I've opted all of us out. I've done that. Yeah, I was looking at my letter the other day.
But then I said to myself, they don't want me anyway become an actress.
No, they would want your womb, so you stay there.
My womb's not enough. There is no more going on in that womb.
They take your heart.
I
don't know about the brain now.
They're doing it. Womb transplant. They're doing it for
because you think about it, the womb is still there to carry the child. It does the eggs you can't.
There was a case where they did a womb implant, and the very first baby from the womb implant was born.
Yeah. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I saw it somewhere on social media.
I can believe that because it's the eggs.
Wow.
When you get older, it's the eggs that die off. The womb is still functioning as it should do.
You said to get the thing?
Yeah, cool. You said it will be
I'll be back soon.
That's what I said.
Going to have fun, guys.
So death and life is in the past, but there's not going on in my womb right now. No one, not one. Sorry, it's not for sale. So yeah, so guys, those of you who are listening on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube, thank you so much for staying tuned in. As I say, we are just going through the break, and we will be back straight, and we'll carry on talking and finding out a bit more. I really do think it's really good to talk and find out. You know, I was thinking this week, over the weekend, in October for Black History Week, it's History Month, to just get some real life stories and just get people to come in and just tell their story of where they started, and where they are now. You know, because this is a community radio station, and it's an urban radio station. It's very much geared towards the Black community. It's not solely, but we do talk about a lot of Black issues on this show, and I think it would be really nice to invite some of our listeners, some of those people who are those who are listening, who are listening every week, who have interest in lives, because everybody has an interest in them, leads interest in life, as much as they don't believe they do. But I think that there's something there for everybody to learn from another person. So guys on Facebook, I just want to thank you for joining us this evening. I hope you're getting something out. This is the start of Sickle Cell Awareness Week. We are about to go back. Sorry, month. Yeah, I keep saying it. You're back with your paperwork.
I'm back with the paperwork.
Yes. And welcome back. Thank you so much, guys, for staying tuned in to Conversations with Yvonne Michele. You have joined us today. We are talking about Sickle Cell Awareness Month. I have two beautiful queens in the studio with me, and I make 3. We've been talking about sickle cell. Now, Charmaine has brought something up called the lasting power of attorney. And this is about health issues in general. This is a golden nugget, guys. If you didn't know, now you're going to know. It's this document here. I don't know if you can see it. It's there. It's there. I don't know if you can see it on Facebook. There you go. You can see the price on it. It says £82. Now, Charmaine, this document here, you would fill it in, and then it gives the said person the power of attorney to speak on behalf of the person who is unwell or incapacitated at any time.
Yeah, because most people think, oh, you have to have an illness or you have dementia. Like my grandmother's got dementia. I'm telling my mom, you need to get lasting power of attorney, but it's too late because she's not a reasonable sound mind, so she's not able to understand.
Right.
So she can't give my mom authority. So it's important for us to do these things now, so that if anything does happen to us, and for me, I know with my daughter, it's something that I need to do because she's 18 now. Yeah. I know she gives me authority if I'm there, but what if I'm not there? Because they said to me, so if she needs a blood transfusion 4, 5 in the morning, what are you going to do? I said, call me. I live 5 minutes away. I can get here in 2.
That's right.
And I was very adamant, but because I've grown her to be quite aware of her disease, her illness, how it affects her, how to speak up for herself. So she was quite adamant in saying, I don't want a blood transfusion, but it upset her.
Right.
Because remember, she's on diamorphine. So at one point she was hallucinating. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? Shanique, what's this? I don't know. So it's those sort of things.
Yeah.
So under the influence of certain drugs, how are they going to speak on their own behalf?
Yeah. That makes a lot of
so
sense.
Younger children, not until that. You don't need this until they're 18.
Right.
So from the age of 18, I would say, or 17, going on 18, you start filling out with them. 18, just put through the paperwork. But it's something that's needed because the last thing they want to be thinking about is what the doctor's saying, this, that, the other, what medication that. She didn't think about what medication that is because she's in pain.
Yeah.
And she's more focused on her healing and getting better.
And the thing is, you don't know that you're always going to be at hand because you could be doing something down the road, which is further afield than 5 minutes away.
Yeah. And even when I was pregnant with my last one, I just thought that sometimes the children would come to me and I was like, yeah, do whatever. Because all I was focused on is my morning sickness. So when she's sick, I relate back to that feeling. Or when you have a flu, someone come ring you about work. Are you interested in going into work? No. So it's about your healing and your health. And I think our health is important. Sometimes we overlook it.
Yeah.
And, just taking care of your health in general and looking into telling your story. So one of the reasons why I wrote the book with Les Brown and went on my Les Brown journey is I needed to heal because I was 21 when I had her, 23, 24 when she had her first crisis. At that time I was pregnant with my son, but I didn't know when she had her first crisis. So a lot happened in a short space of time. Then going and having the amniocentesis, and then she's sick. Oh, am I going to have 2 children with sickle cell? What am I going to do? How am I going to cope? Can I go to work? I didn't end up going to work, but I left because the manager wasn't very understanding. Right. Imagine the school calls me in a child protection meeting and she asked me, where am I going? So I said, my child's got a high temperature and she's got sickle cell. Could I put it on the Outlook calendar? I looked at her like, Outlook, yeah. Not at all. But luckily, my direct manager was understanding because when she's sick, I don't have time to be thinking about Outlook calendar or work or anything like that. So for me, when my nephew passed and then when she's having these crises or sickle cell episodes, for me, it was like her health is more important. Yeah. I need to put my children first. I need to put her health first. I need to find ways in which to keep her well. So sickness is something that comes to us all, but how are we going to manage it? How are we going to get through reading, We do affirmations. Dada Jones gave us some affirmations. I'm so calm and peaceful to calm the mind, the body, and the spirit. I am fine, I am fine, I'm fine. And when I'm on these sickle cell groups, I'm just giving them the affirmations to say, and we can all say them.
Yeah.
And it's just to calm the spirit, because remember, your mind over matter. It can penetrate into illness in the body.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Louise Hay as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
You can
Louise
hear
Hay
it,
stuff.
yeah. So TD Jakes.
Yeah.
I get her to read books as well. To just open up her mind and understanding. The Sickle Cell Society actually has a very good book, A Parent's Guide to Understanding Sickle Cell and Thalassemia.
Okay.
So if you can go to the Sickle Cell website, you can request
A Parent's Guide.
A Parent's Guide to Understanding Sickle Cell. That's a very good book for you to get. That was my little Bible, or my book that I would make reference to very often when she's having a episode, or when I first knew she had trait. Well, I had trait and she had sickle cell. So yeah. And they have also now brought out a booklet, the Sickle Cell Society, on access to work. So access to work for people with sickle cell.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's just giving some guidelines for employers and employees, what are your rights, and goes back to the discrimination aspect. And if you write it down on how are you going to be treated. You know?
Right. So guys, those of you who are listening on the www, there is a number for you to call if you have any questions in regards to sickle cell or thalassemia, anything like that, mental health within reason. The number to call is 07908 974 543. That is 07908 974 543. Now, what kinds of, in terms of diet and types of, what can somebody who has sickle cell or is a sickle cell carer do to help in terms of diet? What types of things?
Lots of greens. So your spinach, your callaloo, your kale. Green vegetables provide a lot of chlorophyll. Chlorophyll helps to cleanse the blood. A very good book for everyone to read, even us, when the cleanse detox, is Supernova Slum, The Remedy.
Supernova Slum,
The Remedy. Have you heard of Queen Afua? That's her son. He's a hip hop guru and he's very into health and wellness. And I started to give my daughter green juices. Just like Nipsey Hussle says, make sure you eat your greens and you be vegan. So give her green juices. Even all of us have green juices. So it's like a power juice. So you have wheatgrass, spirulina, dandelion greens, ginger inflammation. So you have a scoop of each and you put it in a water bottle. You can just drink it like that, but it doesn't taste very nice. Or you can have it as a power juice in the morning instead of breakfast. So having your greens, they say yam, cassava, beetroot, carrot. So beetroot and carrot juice, you know, we used to have it on a Sunday. So we're indirectly. So beetroot and carrot juice is good. Also your beans, like dal. Red lentils.
Chickpeas.
Chickpeas. Well, not so much chickpeas because they can sometimes be acidic. But red lentils, African yam. You can make cassava punches. So looking at those aspects of, but because it's to do with the blood and changing of the shape from a normal to a crescent and it causing blockages. So if you can, anything, illness starts with the blood. So if you can cleanse and purify your blood, you're a step there. Increase your doses of folic acid so you can have the broccoli. There's herbs as well out there, so you can increase your iron. Take vitamin C, build up your immune system. My daughter recently got told to try burdock root. It's supposed to be very good for sickle. So there's different like herbal supplements, but I would say everyone's body is different, so you have to try what works for you. We use the aloe vera, but there's a percentage of people that are allergic to aloe vera. So eat for your body type, I would say. Lots of fruits and vegetables. If you've been in hospital and you're coming out and you've had a sickle cell pain episode or crisis, smoothies. So increasing your smoothies. I tend to put chia seeds in there to build up the omega-3 and 6. Pumpkin, flax seeds. It comes in like porridge in there by the time I finish, but it's just building up their immune system because they're susceptible to illness. So use your diet. Your food be your medicine and your medicine be your food.
And there's been quite a lot of people that, because they're always ill, they just don't have the time to be able to make all this food that Charmaine's talking about.
Yeah.
If you've got people that are around you, family members, friends, then you should help them and supply all this nutrition food. But most of the time they're too ill to sit down and start making yam and stuff like that. So they just end up eating rubbish.
Right.
Yeah. And then that will also bring the sickle cell crisis.
So that's a good point, actually. So if you do have somebody that has sickle cell, be there, support them. If you need to carry them a meal, sometimes you could even freeze. They could even freeze the chunks and have it, or come and make it for them and bring it. And that's like with any disease, because I've got a team member right now, breast cancer. I went and brought her vitamin C, I brought her aloe, and then I'm thinking of things that I can make for her to eat to build up her system. So it's true, because when my daughter's ill, sometimes she'll just fancy a pack of noodles, and you know what they said about the noodles. But they say as long as they're eating something, it's better than nothing at that time. And when they regain full health, then you do your best to try and supplement. Because one of the speakers that Peace invited to her event, Black Hair event, in conjunction with sickle cell, she actually does her own punches with cassava and yam and cashews and all these different things. And she has sickle cell HBSC.
Okay, and what is that?
This, I can't remember what the C stands for, but that's an abnormal gene.
Okay.
Yeah. So sickle cell, full-blown sickle cell is normally it could be SC or SS.
Right.
So sickle cell anemia is
the full blown.
Yeah, and then sickle cell. I think it's the abnormal C gene that she has, along with sickle cell. And then there's the trait, which is AS. And then you can have thalassemia sickle cell, because remember, it's depends on your parents, your background, and what you've got to remember, that a lot of us culturally we're mixing right now, so you don't know who it's going to affect.
And that was another thing about when people think, it's just a Black people's disease. You've got a lot of mixed race relationships going on now.
Yes.
You don't know that the person that you're going dating, whether they've got the trait. And I know when they're all madly in love, it's the last thing that comes on their mind. I had back in 2014, we had a white lady that came onto my inbox, and she said, she's just had a baby. The baby got a trait. The baby was pure white. There was the boyfriend was white. She too was white, but the baby had the trait, and she couldn't understand. And the man left her because he believed she had a relationship with a Black person. They split up. So she was in my inbox, crying her eyes out, couldn't understand why her child had the trait. So I had to explain to her that either herself or the man himself, the background could have been that they've, come from Mediterranean or from Italian or stuff like that. So when she started to, follow my page, and she started to understand why it had happened to her, because I kept saying to her, go and do the test. Go and get your family to do the test, and then make sure he does the test, because it might have been even him that has passed the trait on to you. Yeah. But as she got used to the page and other people commented on there, she decided, I don't care, that she's going to look after her child. So she never took the test and accepted that her child, I think her child is now 10 now, but it was when she came to me about 10 years ago. So she's quite happy with the result. So it's just about, changing, just educating people about sickle cell. It's not only just the Black people's disease, and the way things are going on now. Yes, it will. People are into marriages, into relationships, have all these mixed race children. You never know when the traits will appear, and that's where my book came in, because it's more or less a love story. It's a fictional romantic story. It kind of tells you the story of a couple that goes through the whole devastation of losing a child because they have sickle cell. Then the lady decides, I never want to date a Black man again, because she doesn't want to go through that. Then she moves from Nigeria to the UK, meets an Italian, and thinks, she's falling in love, she gets pregnant, but then what happens? Because obviously it's ignorance again. So that's what this book is about. It's teaching them about sickle cell without actually drumming the whole medical issue into it. So you read it as a love story.
Okay, that's a book for you guys to get. It's called A World Without Sickle Cell.
It's on Amazon.
And it's on Amazon.
You can just type my name, Peace Editorial, and the book comes up. It's on a special deal now. It's $6.99, and if you've got Prime Time, it's free delivery. It's normally at £10, but
Yeah, and it's a good book. It's a good read. So we've got 2 authors here. Where's the other one?
Under all the promotion.
I was trying to keep it. I was like, let's keep it. Look, we're just making it work here, man. We're just making it work.
So mine,
Yeah.
I'll find you. So mine is, I've got a chapter in this book with Les Brown. So mine is called The Root in You, and I explain my story of raising a child with sickle cell, when I find it. I don't know where my chapter is. Yeah, The Root in You.
The Root in You.
So basically, I share my story of degree, having a child with sickle cell and how it changed my purpose and my passion, but also me sharing my story because I'm a very private person. I don't share very much things. I try to do a little bit more now, but I'm still very private. That's why you don't see too many Facebook lives or anything like that. But it's important for us to share our story, and even with you that see me a trait. Do you understand? Because it's not something you go to someone and say, yeah, do you understand?
Yeah,
But it does bring awareness, and it does help other people, us talking about this, to see that, you know what, that's someone like me and they're going through that. But behind all of this, that we're on the radio and we're doing this and we're doing that, we're also managing life.
Absolutely.
And that's what we do need to push, because sometimes with social media, you get, especially I noticed with Instagram, you can get caught up in their high life and all this, but behind closed doors, what's going on?
Yeah. Well, it's,
and those
it's conversations, isn't it? Social media creates a perception. People just see you as this person. They look at the pictures, you know, and some pictures are, you know, you've got what they call filter. Yeah,
there's no filter.
There's no filter. There's no
filters.
Right, there is nothing. Right. So, you know, there's no filter going on here, but you know, sometimes people see these things and they think, oh, that person's life is so perfect. They've got it all together. But actually, you don't know what goes on behind closed doors.
I'm a good example of that. I mean, everyone knows that I'm a Facebook guru, and I've been off Facebook more of this year because I had my own issues going on. And just like Charmaine was saying, that she's a person, I don't go on Facebook and tell you, oh, this is what's going on with me. I just put that big smile on my face, have a photograph, and then out there, everybody's liking, well, I'm going through hell. I've been going through hell. This is me now coming back to create awareness. I've kind of dropped off the whole thing.
She has been very, even events.
Even events, you call me for an event, I'll give you one excuse, but I don't want to tell you what's going on because you can't solve my problem. But I know that talking about it can help. I'm very good at telling people you need to talk about your problems on my own. You just leave me to deal with it. And that's what I've been doing. But to be honest, it works for me, but I know it doesn't work for a lot of people because now I've been able to, I've been going through a lot of things since January, and I've kind of struggled and gone through it, and I've come out the other, well, I think I've come out the other way. I mean, this is your inbox message to come on this show is like, this is going to be the first one this year, because I just thought to myself, I'm not in the, I was going to wait till 2020 when I think maybe I'm in a better place. But I just thought every month it was just getting worse, not getting a better place. And then I thought to myself, next week also we've got the community mile walk in North London, starting from St Anne's Hospital. And I thought to myself, I agreed to do this last year, September. And then all of a sudden, it's creeped up. It's next week, and I'm thinking I better get motivated. I better get back on Facebook and start telling people that we're doing this, commit people to support and do whatever. But I wasn't really in the right frame of mind to do that. But I thought to myself, this is something I've dedicated my life to. Why am I now letting my issues overcome what I've been so passionate about? So this now has kind of given me that boost to get back, you know, on the bike and ride. I mean, I'm not going to tell you what my issues are because, like I said, I only tell people that can help. And at this time, I don't think anyone on my Facebook page can help. There's no point.
If you can, was it peace?
if you think you can, peace at the Toro, right?
Or one page, a world without sickle cell inboxer.
I think the only way you can help is if you tell me what Wednesday's lottery numbers are, and then inbox me. That's the only way you can help. But apart from that, I have kind of healed myself, which is not a lot of people can do that. Everyone says to me, "Oh, Peace, you're so strong." But there are a few people that know what I've been going through, my family background and all that stuff. They know, and they're like, "How do you do it?" And I just say, the Lord is my strength.
Physician, heal thyself.
Yes,
Come on now.
That's it. So it doesn't work for everyone. So like I said to you, I'm good at. I don't practice what I preach all the time.
None of us do all the time.
All the time. But I always say, just like you said earlier on, problem.
There's a problem
solved.
Yeah.
So it depends on how big your problems are. And I don't do small problems. They're always big.
You got to change that declaration. You're putting it out there, please. Yeah. But even when you have an illness, people don't like to share.
No.
Until, because I know my team member, she didn't share with me, she had breast cancer. And I think it's been going on for a while. There was at a point when she said she needed some products, but at the same time, she's like, well, I've got this. And I said, what? She didn't say what it was. I said, what, the thing? Because my grandmother died of breast cancer.
Right.
But she would never claim it.
Right.
So even when I was driving down, I was thinking, do I go on and say I have sickle cell trait, or do I say they've told me I have sickle cell trait? But part of it, you have to own it in a way that's acceptable to you. So that's why sickle cell warriors, they're fighting it, or sickle cell disease. You could say sickle cell anemia. Sometimes you say disease, some people think, you understand? So
I like to say disorder. I never call it disease.
Because
people just feel the place.
Anemia.
So I just say disorder.
Anemia.
Yeah. I mean, with thalassemia, it's like I've been told I have the trait, and I have the trait, but it's like it is nothing. It doesn't have a shape or a form or a thing. in my head, it's just a name. That the doctors decided that I have, but it doesn't affect me as far as I'm concerned. And I'm like that. Not many things do affect me. I just,
that's the way
get on. They know you hear me just coughing every minute, but I just get on, and I might have a sneezing fit on air all the time. And some other person might say, "Oh, I can't do that because this," but it's just get on with it. And I think that as your warriors are, they're getting on with it.
Yeah, they haven't got a choice. That's the problem.
Yeah, you're just getting on with it, and I want to just send a big respect out to everybody who is listening who does suffer with sickle cell disorder. I think I prefer the word disorder. I'm not even sure about that. But I want to salute you this evening and, just encourage you to find the best way to navigate your life, what's going to be best for you. And like Charmaine has said, she's got some of these Forever Living products here that help.
Yeah, because I've been doing Forever Living alongside my employment. About a couple months after my nephew passed.
Okay.
Yeah. Because what we were finding is we were spending too many hours at work and not enough hours with the children. And my sister put it out there after he passed and said, "Oh, I want to find something in the health industry which is going to help people." That Saturday, I think my niece wanted something in a chicken and chip shop in South London, and she went in there. She met our upline, and she was like, "Do I do it, Shani? Should I do it?" And then she joined. So she joined, and then I didn't join. I was just using their products because I'm like, no, I'm at work and I got this. And then I joined, and then I found the benefits of using it myself as well and how it's helped. But as I say, you have to find what works for you.
Yeah.
Continue to take your medication, seek approval from your doctor, and find out what works for you. Because not everything works for one person.
No. So those of you who are just joining us, I'd just like to welcome you and thank you for joining Conversations with Yvonne Michele. We are talking about sickle cell. It's Sickle Cell Awareness Month, this whole month of September. And I do want to do a bit more on sickle cell throughout the month, actually, because it would be a shame to just have this one hit when it is such a big topic and it affects so many different people. So I would like to ask if you know anyone else who would like to tell their story. They don't have to be, a coach or anything like that. They just want to tell their story.
Yeah.
I would love to have them on my show just to inspire other sufferers as well. I know that we are coming up to a commercial break shortly. So, yeah, I can hear the music. See, it's coming in. Yeah. So we'll be back after the break, and we will be talking more and more about sickle cell awareness. But I would like you to send your questions in. If you have any questions for our panelists, please do send your questions, not answers, in after the break.
And if they're listening in and they want to come in and speak,
Yes.
open up the floor.
If you want to come in and
Haven't they
speak,
got comments on the Facebook thing? Oh, is it
It's
up
up
there?
there, yeah.
I can't see. I'm just about to see what's in front of me.
I can see it. Because normally I have my phone, but my phone is in the car.
I don't know where. Sure, I
I
guess.
don't know where the car is.
I guess at the end we can share
Share the
on our
link,
page.
yeah.
Yeah, you can.
I was trying to do it live
You could
on
have
my
put your-
page,
you
but
could have-
I couldn't get it.
Could you not link it?
No, I don't know what happened.
Whose jacket is that you got? In
That's
there?
mine.
It's just so not people to us.
What are you looking for?
My car key.
Is it here?
Oh.
Was that?
Yeah, it's in the armrest. Lift it up and it's in there. Thank you.
When did my data finish?
You could link into.
You can link into. There's a way that you can link into to our page, isn't there?
Yes, you can share it from Yvonne.
Yeah, I went to your page and then
I got it on my other page.
You've got to be on the main one. You posted it on your main one, you did. Share it.
Did
oh
I?
yeah, right, okay.
You can watch
done it.
party or you can share it.
Did I put it on conversations?
No.
Oh, so I need to put it on conversations.
It's shared to conversations.
Oh, did you share it?
Yeah, but
Okay.
the thing is, I can't see, I write all the links, but I can't see anything. So I don't know what I was doing before, writing on conversations, but no one can see the questions that are on your live ones, on your main ones, but I can't see.
Oh, okay. Oh, there you go. You're, I can see you now.
Yeah, I'm on it now. Yeah.
One minute, yeah.
So have you not been on for a little while?
No, I took the last month off because I've been sorting out getting back my money for that particular thing that someone tried to overcharge me for. And my parents.
No, you never. That's bad mind and wicked. You getting your money back?
By the back.
Yeah.
The man told me about taking support. You don't need to take your support. I won't even think saying what the comments I'm thinking.
What?
That's why I said don't let anyone overcharge you.
Yeah, 400. Thank you very much.
So also have to be wary of people taking advantage.
Yeah.
Vulnerable people, you know?
Right, we'll cover that as well.
Yeah. That's why.
You have to turn down your
I mean,
you have to just turn your volume down. And welcome back to Conversations with Yvonne Michele. If you've just joined us, we are talking about sickle cell, live with it, live without it. We've got two amazing queens in the studio today. Do excuse me, I have a bit of a cough today. I don't know what's going on with me. But we have two amazing queens in the studio today. Both are authors, and both are sickle cell disorder advocates. They work around sickle cell. They know about sickle cell, and they are helping people within the community, their community, and further afield to overcome and to live with sickle cell. So we have Charmaine Smith, and we have Peace Aditoro. That's it. See, I love the way she's helping me with her name. For those of you who watch regularly know.
The shark diver.
this lady fights with sharks. You don't remember there, you know. Don't play with
Teresa,
it.
I said to her, please, she goes, you've got my full support from far. And it was so cute.
Dear.
If you go on her page, her son was outside watching, isn't it? Tabby going, Mom!
Oh no!
I know they actually say you're swimming with sharks, but actually stood at the bottom of the tank going, please, how long have I got? Oh, God, have
Did you seriously in that tank?
Yeah, I was in the tank and the sharks just swim above you. And they said to me, you've been there for about 8 minutes, and I'm there counting 1, 2, 3, all the way to 60. That's 1 minute.
Wow. How long was you in there for?
It's supposed to be 8 minutes, but it felt like an hour.
Well, the closest I've got is the London Aquarium. I've walked with sharks past them.
Let me tell you how close I have been. You see the TV screen with jaws?
Jaws. I said
This is someone that doesn't. I don't do animals whatsoever. I have no animal lover. Even the little tiny fish that was swimming around my feet was like, go away from me, don't touch me. That one, they're supposed to tell me was therapeutic, that you should use the sand and they like it. And I was like, I'm
so
like,
sand for what?
You just sort of like pour the sand on the fish and they loved it. And I said, I'm not moving because there's maybe one false move and that shark above my head is coming for me. So I just stood still.
Wow.
She was prepping herself for months.
You know, the first time we drove all the way down there was nearly somewhere near Wales, and we missed it. It was late. We went too late, so we had to go a second time. Although I felt good, but then I thought everybody, supported me, they'd sponsored me. There was no way I could get out of it. And the people said, "Well, you've jumped out of the plane, you've swum with shark. What else are you gonna do?" And I was like, I think I've done it all now. There's nothing really.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how much money did you raise?
For that particular one was about £400. I mean, it's not very much, but I mean,
to swim with a shark.
Well, like I said, we say swim with a shark. I was stood at the bottom of the tank, not even moving. I don't even think I was breathing.
Was it? Did you do live then?
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Yeah,
it's on YouTube. It's live.
This is one brave lady, guys.
I'm not really. I just
you are because I'm sorry,
lady.
warriors. I ain't doing that.
JJ, how you do it?
I do the advocacy, but she's doing the shark diving.
Even when I jumped out of the plane, I was flicking it. They had a little interview at the beginning before you got onto the plane, and I didn't even know my son's name. I couldn't even remember his name when we were doing the interview. And we got onto the plane. This lady was 87 years old. She was jumping out because she was raising money for what's it? Forget dementia. And I thought to myself, this woman, 87 years old, can jump out the plane. Why am I sitting here just shaking like a leaf? So I had to sort of like pop up myself.
And did you jump out with someone?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah,
I was. He was on my back, and the thing is, when you're going down, they tell you, they prep you at the beginning, and they tell you what you're supposed to do, but they never told me how I was supposed to breathe. So
no, you're just supposed to just breathe anyway.
She was holding her breath.
You couldn't. I couldn't breathe, and then the goggles kept coming off. I was struggling with the goggles to put them on, and then I had when I jumped out, they were jumping out like this. My thumbs stuck all the way till I got to the ground.
See, this is the peace sign,
because I paid for the video to video the whole thing. So like, this is how I had it. And I was like this, and the thumbs didn't move all the way till I got to the ground. And then the man asked me, would I do it again? I said no. It was a wonderful experience, but you'll never see me again.
You might inspire Yvonne.
But you know what? I've said for the last couple of years, I'm going to do that. Over my 50th. This is my 50th year.
Do it.
So it's going to be at some stage, probably be next year, just before 51.
Do it. You'll be. I mean, once you've.
But I don't know what I'm raising for yet. I haven't decided because I'm not just going to do it for the sake of doing it.
Yeah.
You know, I've shaved my head. I've shaved my head completely bald before for a cause for a young boy's cancer treatment.
Yeah.
And
I do the advocacy of
Yeah, so I've done that.
Got fear of heights.
I think you need to do it. I've got a fear of heights as well, but
my 5-year-old laughs at me. I said, I'm not scared of heights. Yes, you are, Mum.
Oh wow!
I've got a fear of everything, but I just love a challenge. I love a challenge
too from the ground.
Yeah,
true.
I'm not one for heights, but I've climbed a 90-foot pole and swung off it, jumped off like a trapeze. Yeah,
No,
I do stuff, but that wasn't even for charity. That was with a group of young people.
Okay, yeah.
You know, taking them out on
yeah.
and to help to build their self-esteem and stuff. And we were doing all of these kayaking and all the white water thing, nothing to do with canoeing.
I think I prefer to do the shark thing than the
I'm not
jumping out
into
the
that.
plane. I'll probably be like, peace.
I tell you, that's the way I was from the minute. You have to go.
Where can we watch this, Peace?
It's on my page on YouTube.
What's your page on YouTube?
Yeah, tell us.
Peace Adotoro.
Peace Adotoro. Do go onto her YouTube channel and watch her. I'm going on there.
You've got it on your World of That Sickle Cell.
It's on the World of Sickle Cell as well. You
go
see
on
me
there.
coming out of the plane and my thumbs up, and it's how it was all the way till I got to the ground. Didn't move, couldn't breathe, and then the silly man didn't. When when the parachute goes up, I thought he had left me because he didn't tell me because it becomes lighter. So I thought he had gone, and I thought, well, this man didn't tell me he was going to leave me mid-air. And then the guy felt that I was panicking, so he tapped me to let me know that all that is on the video. I was like,
you couldn't look around in it.
I was like this, and the man was like, as soon as he put the parachute up, I felt like I was on my own. And I was like, you didn't tell me that when I was down doing the prep. And then he saw the panic because my legs were all swinging everywhere. He was like, you say that I'm here. I was like, never again.
My days.
I love my warriors, but there's certain things you don't do twice.
Wow. Well, you know what I say never because you never know. Another opportunity might looking at me. Another opportunity might come your way.
It'll have to be more than 400, and some of that money will have to be coming to me.
Yeah, I think if you put your life on the line like that, come on. Yeah.
Even when the people in Nigeria wishing me, to reduce the population, that was part of it.
That spurred you on more to do it.
It did, yes.
Yeah.
And I put that video right back into that
newsfeed.
newsfeed, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, you're so brave!" Even that idiot had to, eat his words.
Because I remember when you was going to do the shark dive, I said, and you told me that you did the skydive. I was like, send it to me, because she was panicking with the shark. I was thinking, why is she panicking so much? She goes, Charmaine, did you see me when I?
And does it only go above your head? It don't go around. Are you in the middle?
All of that was, I checked. I said, it's just going across over my head. He said, yes. If anything was going to come round, I probably would have died in there. And then sickle cell everybody would have heard about sickle cell awareness if I had actually been eaten by a shark.
Yeah.
I would have created.
Woman eaten by shark as she tries to raise funds for sickle cell.
I would have created awareness anyway.
Yeah.
No,
I don't want to be someone with shark's dinner. I'm just sitting there like my hand is like this, because I'm like.
Well, the man told me they'd been fed.
She said like that's any consolation.
Lord have mercy. Can you hear this, guys? The man said the sharks had already. Listen, you are an absolute warrior. You are. I didn't know. I respect you so much. My goodness, you are awesome. A shark tank, That's on. I wouldn't even think of that. The flying out the plane is one thing, but I would not think.
I was trying everything to create awareness. I don't even know what to do now to even, beat what I've already done.
Can look up
Thanks, honey.
Climb up the shard.
Let's just leave it for next week, the 14th of September. Doing my community miles.
Climb up Mount Everest or something.
Like that.
That's where I draw the line. I ain't going to no Mount Everest. I'm not going to the North Pole.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say the Arctic.
None of them. No. There's one thing.
How about a mountain like Mount Sinai? I'll climb Mount Sinai.
No.
That was in the night.
I don't like heights.
No, but it's at night, so you can't see.
That's even worse.
You can't see. It's great. You should do it.
No.
And then in the morning, you climb at night. And then you see the sun, and by the time you get there, the sunrise is right there, right in your eye.
No.
It's beautiful.
No.
You can't say I didn't try, guys.
No. Well, if you want to do something, you need to get the producers to make this book into a film. That will create awareness.
Sure. Yes.
And the good thing about this book is that I've had a lot of people that have got sickle cell that have read this book and has given me the thumbs up, because it means sometimes you read writing about an illness or about something, and it's getting the thumbs up from people that are going through it, and they have given. And because I've been creating awareness for so long, I've listened to a lot of people's stories, and I've seen how it affects my friend. She died in 2016. The book is actually dedicated to her. When I decided to write the book, I was trying to tell her what I wanted how this book to play out, and she was going, no. I mustn't tell her that she wants to read the book as soon as it's done. She never got to do that, and I had a mental block for about a year after her death, because I couldn't really, she used to give me a lot of tips on what she's feeling and the medicine, how she was treated in the hospital, and I included all of that in this book. And the one thing that hurt me the most was that she never got to read it. If she had allowed me to tell her the story of what I was trying to create, I would have felt much better. But
she's part of that book.
But she's definitely part of this book, definitely. And wherever she rest in peace.
Yeah, that's a lovely dedication. So we want you to go out and get this book. All right, get it on Amazon.
I think I met you that time when you had the mental block.
And we also have this one, Fight Your Dreams. Yeah, both are available on Amazon. Do go out, do support both authors in their books, and also because it does help towards creating awareness for sickle cell, and we really need to do that. I think sickle cell is probably one of the most underspoken about medical issues.
And even in relation to PIP, independence payment, it's very hard for sicklers.
Well, I've been writing to ITV, BBC to go on their morning shows to come and talk about sickle cell, because September is Sickle Cell Awareness Month. Do you get a response? No, because they feel like it's probably just something that happens to Black people.
So do you know what we need to do then is create our own forums like this. I mean, I do this on a live on the radio, but I also do lives at home. And if I'm on, in terms of live broadcasting, my Monday night show does okay, but I actually do a lot better on my lives. Yeah. And maybe this is something that we should do again. Off radio, but just live, just a candid conversation on the sofa with a couple of glasses of wine, just have a chat.
Yeah, because I asked my daughter's psychologist at the Sickle Cell Society, how come the sicklers aren't getting the PIP? This is when she was in hospital. It's very hard for them to get, because you've got to personal independence payment, disability living allowance in place. So with my daughter, I applied and I managed to get the carers component of it, but not the physical, because you couldn't evidence it, how it affected her, even though if she walks a long distance, her legs give way. She gets out of breath, she gets tired, lethargic. That's the time when I didn't have my car, when she was getting sick. Sick. So I took a little bit of time off the radio to sort out my car, because I know that's her feet, basically. But now we applied for PIP, and we would have to appeal it in order to get it. But it's very hard because you have to meet certain criteria. So
appeal it.
Yeah, so for me, I would appeal it, yes, but at the same time, let me get up my money so that she doesn't have to do that.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So do things that will set her foundation for her. Yeah, but if you are accessing benefits, then by all means, you're entitled to them. So go ahead and do it.
Absolutely.
And get all the information you need from your practitioners, psychologists, whoever, and evidence it, because that's what it is. And meeting, as you say, meeting certain criteria.
Yeah, because my son, he's on the autistic spectrum, and he's going to be 16 in December. So I got a letter just like today, actually, about when he's 16, that he now has to apply for the independence, because the disability one is going. I mean, it's just the same with where my family members say, "Oh, you've got a child that's autistic. Why are you not advocating autism and ADHD?" I said, because it's not a disease that knows that people about colour. Yeah, everybody's doing. When you say to someone, "Oh, your child is autistic or they've got ADHD, immediately they don't need to question you anymore. Or when they say, oh, the person suffering from cancer, they don't need to ask a second question because they don't even need to know whether it's breast cancer or lung cancer. The fact that C word alone is already giving you
it takes precedence,
that
doesn't it?
precedence. So, but when you say, oh, someone's got sickle cell, you need to start to explain.
How long have you had it?
Yeah. How long have you?
I look in their face like,
Sorry, I shouldn't laugh. They're just like, really? Good evening, those of you who are just joining us. We are having a conversation about sickle cell. It is Sickle Cell Awareness Month, this month of September, and that's what we are talking about this evening. Wealth of information by these two lovely queens sitting here, talking about a sickle cell and how it affects. And as Charmaine was just saying, you know, in terms of benefits, how difficult it is for sicklers to get the benefit. And you'll get questions like, how long have you had sickle cell?
Is it contagious?
Yep, and going into appeal, because you know, with the state of the personal dependent payment anyway, even people with severe other illnesses are having problems. So you can imagine for a sickler that can't evidence it. It's like lupus.
Yeah.
How are you going to evidence it? Because it's one of those hidden.
Yeah, it's a hidden disorder.
So
which happens to be, and lupus is very much. It's black. A lot of
black people.
It seems to affect us more.
Yeah.
Because I know other people that even they say with asthma, it's easier to get personal dependent payment for asthma than it is for sickle. And I'm thinking, well, how? When one's more severe. But then if you think about the amount of people with sickle cell, what's the influx in there? Yeah.
But the thing is, the people that do have sickle cell is, are they claiming for that? And that's the thing.
Some will claim. I was reluctant at first to claim, but then when I saw the nature of the illness and how it affected my daughter, I said, well, I'm entitled to claim, because at the end of the day, when I could evidence it, it was a simple thing like chickenpox.
Right.
And I think at that time she was 8 or 9, and she had chickenpox, and then my son had chickenpox.
Mm-hmm.
So he had it for about a week. It cleared up when she had it, and I wrote a diary. To see the difference in care that I had to do, because I had to make sure she had extra fluids, and I had to make sure she had her medication, then I had to be up at night watching her. Do you understand? Whereas my son, just put little cream on him, make sure he's got his fluids, make sure he eats, he's fine. Yeah. But with her, I was monitoring her to make sure it don't turn into a crisis, because how it's affecting her. Her immune system is down, how is it going to trigger? And I could evidence the extra care that I had to give her. Yeah. And I think I literally even cried in the appeal. And I was wondering what's going on, but all those emotions of caring for her came back at that particular point, because I was so used to just getting on and doing it. It came like second nature. It's only when you had to evidence on paper. Yeah. So even like when you're writing and you're seeing what you've actually been through, your story, you actually remember and think, I've been through a lot, and how did I manage to come through this?
Yeah.
And it's the same when I went in there for the appeal. They're wondering, why is she crying? But I'm crying because I've done this all, and you lot are sitting there saying that no, we're not going to give that.
Yeah, as the judge, really judging you and your child's illness, actually kind of putting it on a benchmark. Well, you know, this is the worst.
Yeah.
This is the, you know,
because it's hard. And I'll say, if you do want to do PIC, get a diary, journal, evidence your daily activities with the child, when you have to give them medication, when there's bedwetting, they're tired, lethargic, attendance certificate from the school, doctors. Advocate at the Sickle Cell Society, psychologists, get them to write supporting documents for you, so you can really push it through. And even other people that have done the PIC before, offering their advice and assistance, because there's certain criteria you have to hit. And normally when you're just writing general, you don't know if you're hitting that criteria or not.
It's hard work, because obviously trying to convince the PIP that, you know, this is a devastating illness is quite hard. Even the medical doctors and the nurses, they look down on people with sickle cell, that they're putting it on. They just want the hard drugs and the medication and stuff like that. So if you can't convince your medical staff, how are you going to convince someone in the government?
The morphine, because sometimes when you say, can I have some more and I need it, or you go into accident and emergency, there's a procedure that when you have sickle cell, you go like when they're pediatric children, they go straight into. They don't have to wait in the waiting area. Now when it came on to 17, 18, she's a big girl, so where's she going in peds? So there was a dispute. 4 hours in the waiting room area of the hospital, accident emergency, deciding if she's going to peds or if she's going to adults. I slept on the chair them hard cheers over her. I had to make up a fuss, as we were saying about kicking up a fuss.
Yeah.
Make up a fuss with the nurses at 1, 2 in the morning, saying what's happening, where is she going? Don't let me
Right.
take this further.
Right.
To get a result. So you can understand you're watching your child sick, and you're in the accident emergency waiting area with other people that are got all these different things wrong with them. So when she go pick up something else, what's happening?
Yeah.
And then it's also nurses, doctors, them understanding as well. Because they've had their training, but do they come into contact
with that?
Yeah.
Well, guys, you've heard a lot this evening. We've covered a lot. There's a lot of emotion that goes with most illnesses, as well as this, because I really want this month for sickle cell to really stand out, so that we become more. I become more aware of it. We all become more aware of what this is and how it affects our community, how it affects our children. You know, we really need to just take a pause a minute and really have a look at this and think, how are we supporting those in the community? What can we do more? And how can we raise more awareness? And I think that is the key thing, is the raising of the awareness so that the ignorance can die.
Yeah. And providing the solutions, like he said before.
Yeah.
Providing the solutions.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And go out and do all those crazy things that the warriors can't do, just for people that are watching or listening, just to let you know that, you know, this is a devastating disease, and without, you know, your support, we're going nowhere. This disease has been around for over 100 years, and it doesn't look like we're getting any.
Yeah, someone good to access as well is the Scarf Sickle Cell Foundation, and I've accessed him, Dr. Melville Jones. He was in the Voice newspaper and also in the New Nation newspaper many years ago, but he has a foundation. So those that maybe can't afford to get additional holistic treatment, he does have a foundation where he does it at a reduced price. Okay. And I've actually accessed him myself with my daughter when she went into hospital after the Les Brown Cruise to Greatness, when I met Les Brown. And he's helped our family tremendously. So different ways of managing sickle cell in addition to taking affirmations, Reiki, essential oils. At first I looked at him like,
and as you mentioned Reiki, as you mentioned that,
yoga,
because as you mentioned that,
chanting your vows,
as you mentioned that, as you mention it, because I know that we as a people, we got a little thing going on. We're Reiki, and we start, no, that's black magic. Listen, you got to be open. God gave us knowledge to use it, so why we're not using it? Wonderful. We have 3 minutes left of the show, guys. Sorry. 3 minutes.
She switches.
There's 3 minutes, only 3 minutes left. But I just want to say this. We have to become more open as a people. And we have to start supporting one another more. So when you see people, because I didn't know that you did all of this, because you've only kind of recently come on my radar. I didn't really know. So Peace is the Shark Tank lady, yeah? £400, are you kidding me? Sorry, no, in the last 2 minutes, I have to say this. We need to do better. Come on. £400. She went a tank with a shark dread. 400, really? Now, come on, guys. We need to support each other more, all right? That's all I'm saying. I'm not beating you with my stick. I'm not telling you off, but I am saying to you, come on, we need to do better. This is 2019. And if we're going to progress, we've got to progress together. We can't do it individually. So when you see causes like this, get involved, put your hand in your pocket and support. Yeah, it's going to a good cause.
I'm joining the sickle cell cause on the 14th of September, doing the sickle cell mile, community mile walk. We're starting from St. Anne's Hospital, and it's supposed to be a 2.5 hours, God help me, and back to the hospital again. So
it's a walk.
It's a walk.
Oh, that's all right.
It's on the 14th of September. So
where? Is it a sponsored thing?
Yeah, it's the SC course.
And is it too late to join?
What's today? No, it's not, because the
Find
money
out.
the money is supposed to be in for the £10 joining fee by the 7th of September. So you
Okay,
can
so
still
that's
join. Got a couple of
Saturday.
days.
And that's 14.
Yeah.
I can't. Got 1 minute.
Yeah.
1 minute left of the show. I'm just going to try and work out these ladies and see if I can actually do that on the 14th. But I do believe I've already got a commitment. But that doesn't mean to say that I can't sponsor you. So I can. So whatever you can do to help. Peace, do you have a digital sponsor form?
Yes, I've got
Right.
it. I've got it on my page.
Can you share it
On your page.
on my page?
Yeah.
And we will take it from there. And
Okay.
are you doing it?
I'm gonna put my name down to do it. I'll
Right.
do the walk. I ain't jumping out and no plane or swimming. No.
So
Come on,
if,
Charmaine.
so if we
I'll
can,
do the walk. Yeah,
if we
I'm a
can
woman. I
help
don't need
each other,
to.
if we can help each other more, let's do that. But for now, it's come to the end of the show. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you found it informative. We will be back here next week. I've got Rashima, not Rashima. No, it's not Rashima. Hanifa, that's it. I don't know where Rashima came from, but Hanifa will be here with us next week. I've also got other guests. Can't remember off the top of my head, sorry. But you'll see it on my Facebook, you'll see it on Instagram, and you'll see it on YouTube. You'll see it all over the place. Do remember to join me next week between the hours of 8 and 10, and there may even be a Facebook Live home edition. All right, so I'm out of here for now.
Bye.
Ciao, ciao.
Thanks for listening.
Bye. Ciao, ciao. Bye, bye, bye. Bye, guys. I don't know how. There, Betty. Are you sure?